for all our hard work. And moderator, Ananya, who will take over for tonight's very powerful and wonderful seminar. Please enjoy. Thank you. I'm Rashmi Acharya, by the way.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you all so much for being here at the OSA Women's Empowerment Seminar. It is so wonderful to see so many familiar faces, so many new faces here at this event. We are here to talk about a very powerful conversation, which is communication across generations, and we will be working towards bridging the gap today. Just a little heads up before we begin, a few of the conversations may be a little difficult, a little hard to kind of wrap our minds around. So we ask that everyone keep an open mind throughout the conversations and understand each of the perspectives from all of our wonderful panelists up here. We also ask that when forming questions, we are going to open up our panelists to answer questions from the audience. When forming those questions, please make sure to be respectful of our panelists and our other members in the room so that we can have an enriching and impactful conversation. Without further ado, I would like to introduce a little bit about OSA Women's Empowerment and how it came to be. So, to begin, a little bit about her. Dr. Smriti Panda is the current lead for the OSA Women's Empowerment Forum. She has been a part of this group since its inception in 2020. She is a native of Nashville, Michigan, with her husband, where she is an active member of the OSA community. Do we have her on call? We do have her on call. Andy, would you like to say a little bit about if you can bring this up? I know she wanted to say
financial awareness. Now, this is just a view. We are already working.
She'll do something. So I have to control with someone, this is not this or she'll do something. But it's not possible to do that. However, it is possible only if the environment, especially the parent or any other person, they control that. That's the most important part. I never say that I have any good knowledge or expert in this controlling it.
And also we take care.
Facebook. So I'd like to let them know that all of their sacrifices that they have made have been worthwhile. I also have a younger brother as well who is currently out of the country on a study abroad trip. So firstly, I feel like the most important part of this conversation is to sit down and understand. Our parents and grandparents have all come from a foreign country. They have packed whatever that they had.
It's hard to understand, having been born here and growing up here, how much of a struggle the immigration process is. I know this is the case for me and probably a lot of people, but I do just want to make my parents proud, and so meeting those expectations is part of it. And if I knew them, I would definitely do it, and I just want them to tell me what exactly it is that you want me to, what is it that you want? And so then how we...
They kind of watched some of the things I would do with commentary, which is great, but also not great. So, but the lines of communication are there, but a lot of times, even if you try to explain, the understanding isn't always there of what you're doing and the struggles you're having. And in the areas of...
I just wanted to add to that point about how we talk about these different things, especially stress and how you deal with these different situations, whether it's high school or anything else. Your kids and my children, well, she won't have, she was being cranky. They're gonna go through all these phases of life and hit all of these things for the first time, right? And you've already...
As if I'm talking to my best friend in school, I have to make sure that I'm phrasing it in a way that, my parents would be able to connect with it and understand. Same with my parents, they can't face my problems as if they're facing a work issue. They have to kind of come back down a level, as you had mentioned. They have to come back down a level and think back to when they were my age, how they felt then, what they would have done then and how they would have talked to someone back then. So that is such an amazing point. Thank you so much for sharing. And please do, for all of our audience, please know that we do have a Q&A coming up. So if you have anything to discuss, any questions, you are more than welcome to have those discussions come up very, very soon. We have just a few more questions for our panelists. So another question that kind of, for all of our panelists, do you communicate the struggles that you have experienced with your parents and or children? And what are your methods of communicating the hard discussions? What are the methods of communicating those, to put it roughly, failures or struggles that you have faced? Anyone would like to begin?
Caused by somebody else or the outside world, you can complain about it, and nobody will listen to you, but you can complain about it. But the ones where you truly feel responsible for your own mistakes, those are hard. A lot of times, your own ego might get in the way. You don't want to admit your mistakes to anybody, even to yourself. You don't want to admit it.
Gratitudes. Look at these panels. I am being emotional. I can see myself in each one of you. I have a son, a daughter. I just want to OSA to take this forum to main stage. So many people will learn from these people. Thank you, whatever you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support, Kumasi. We really appreciate it, and we do hope to continue the good work that is done by this committee.
I know all our children. These are all our children. I'm Devi Prasad Mishra. I retired 2 years back after 60 years in medicine. And what I learned, what I did not learn. When I was in medical training in India, and psychiatry was not a major subject in our batch, our class, throughout the 5 years. When I came to this country and practiced, even right now, in this country, 1 in 3 children have mental problems. 1 in 3. And I know Alok and this guy, all of you, of your children, the children of your generation. When I came, like all the parents, are very dogmatic, and you came as an immigrant, you want all the parents, no matter whether it's me or somebody else, they wanted their children to do best, like you said. They all wanted them to make A. My oldest son was, I don't know, Alok, whether you remember or she might remember. She was extremely intelligent, extremely brilliant. And I was always getting mad on him if he got a B. And after 10 years I thought, what's wrong in getting a B?
1 in 3 people who come for cold and cough to a primary care doctor's office has a mental health issue, regardless of anywhere in the world. Whether they went through a civil war or they were raped, doesn't matter. It just gets triggered.
तो मुझे कहना चाहूँ पिला शुणुली एत बढ़िया सब कहला बेले दे रेडी टू टेक ओवर बहुत खुशी लगे बहुत ही खुशी लगे मुझे कहना चाहूँगी आम सब कौच पिलार कौन प्रोब्लेम है पिलार मेंटल प्रोब्लेम है पिलार इश्यू है तार जब सोर्स को जाऊे इवन विथ माय चिल्ड्रेन आई थॉट द प्रॉब्लम is with the child, but actually the problem, the source of why it started is me. Somehow like that has happened. I figured it out slowly. But moti jetabale bhi moro issue hothula, I think we parents need counseling to handle our children. Those who are actually I really appreciate Nitai and Bhavna handling so well, that Anoushka getting the support. Sometimes we failed to give that support that was needed. We needed counseling actually. And our children have told also, you need counseling. And I'm thankful from a women forum when I needed, someone is here, I'm not going to mention name, who supported me and checked on me how I'm doing. And that really helped, and I would say from Women Forum we have a lot of support. And I want to applaud that also, having the forum, But I really appreciate, we parents sometimes don't do the thing right. We also need help. So your children just understand. Maybe you want to also talk to parents, please go for counseling, that will help. This is really, it is needed now. We can clearly see, it's not our children, it's ours.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Auntie. That is not to stray too far from the topic we're here for today, but I am a firm believer, I know most of us are also firm believers, therapy is not something to be ashamed of. Therapy is not something that only should be looked at when there's an issue. When there's an issue, that means it's later in the game. Therapy is something where, again, it's all about communication, right? When you're communicating your feelings properly, when you're able to express them properly, you live a fuller life, you live a better life. And so, as you were saying, counseling, therapy, having help, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's merely communicating in a more structured manner. And that's something that I am in full support of, and something that I absolutely, there's something going on the other side. But something that I definitely advocate for, and I know that many of us also advocate for mental health. If anyone wants to say anything about that, we had in any group. The reason it's in a cultural group right now, the reason it's here at OSA right now, is because we are not just a community, we're not just a group of people who meet up, we're a family. And so we all need to work together, make sure that the communication is open consistently within ourselves, within our families, within our family, to make sure that we continue and we slowly water down that trauma until it's something that we can look past. It will always be there, but it's something that we can work out of, and we can happily move on with our lives, being comfortable with the fact that we are aware of it, and it's okay. It's okay to be a little flawed. It's okay to have a little chip. With that being said, I think we're wrapping up our discussion. If we have any final remarks? Absolutely, no.
I have someone here who has seen me from around the first time I came to America, with my first child being, I'm sorry, I'll get emotional, hardly 1 year old. I have someone who has seen my 3 kids grow up with me, and then there are people here who are seeing me now. Many people think, oh, she's this and that. No, I'm just evolving. I'm just evolving.
I wanted to get a PhD. I also wanted to go to work. My youngest son was about 3 and a half, and I got all kinds of babysitters and au pairs, you name it, I got it. I literally hired people from the street, and thankfully they all grew up. And one good reason they probably grew up because they supported each other. And the other reason is I wasn't there to nag them.